to another episode of Convict Christianity. We are the hosts. We have Chills. How you going?
Good. How you going?
Doing very well. And I am George. Welcome everybody to another episode. Now, last time we had an episode, we said we're really excited about this one. We had this sort of pre-planned, and we were excited to talk about it. Do you remember what it was, Ilya?
Yeah, I do. And we also said it would be a week.
Well, you know what? I only released that episode last week, so technically
It's been a week.
It's been a week.
All
So,
right.
yeah, no, we're really excited about today's episode. And also, like, it's not a happy episode. We're not gonna. It's not something to be joyous about. But we're excited because we love the work of God in this area, and we think that there definitely needs to be more work done. And so, today we're going to be talking about the culture of death, and more specifically, we're talking about abortion. We're going to be talking about, and we've got a guest on today, so we'll introduce her very shortly, but we'll talk about abortion. We're going to talk about how as Christians we can get involved, how we should be thinking about abortion, what we should be doing, what does the Bible say, and so we're really excited to get into it. Just as a sort of a pre-starter, the Bible says that those who hate God love death. That the wicked run to shed the blood of the innocent. In Isaiah 59. And so as we look at around this nation, Australia, as we look at our society and how we've rejected the Bible, we've rejected God, and that has resulted in paganism, it resulted in self-worship, idolatry. And now we are offering our children on the altar of self-worship.
And the crazy thought about that, every time I used to read that verse, I would always think of an adult murdering another adult. I'd always think, of somebody, ripping someone off for money or harming somebody for their own benefit and their own gain. And sadly, I did not contemplate what we're going to talk about today, which is abortion. I didn't contemplate a mother, killing her child for what she thinks at that time to be her own happiness, or maybe even a father or a grandfather forcing and pushing, a young woman, sadly, to do something like that, and due to pressure, falling into these wicked acts.
Yeah. All right. So today we have a guest with us. Her name is Nadia. She's the coordinator of
Correct.
Hope House.
Yes.
Which is a pregnancy help center, which aims to help women who are considering having abortion or who are struggling through their pregnancies to overcome whatever difficulties that may be, whether it be financial, emotional, even physical, whatever it may be. Hope House is there to help. So
Correct.
Nadia, tell
Yes.
us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, okay.
And Hope House as
and
well.
Hope House,
and Hope
yeah.
House, yeah.
Well, Hope House was started just pre-COVID in 2019, mid-2019. One pregnancy centre was closing down in the city, in Sydney here, and me and another lady were thinking about pro-life ministry, and we had a spare portable building available to us, and I just thought, why not convert that portable building into a pregnancy help centre office? I spoke to this lady, and she was volunteering at this centre in the city, which was closing down due to financial problems, and she knew the board, Christian people who were on the board of Evangelicals for Life, and so we had a chat to them, and we just thought, why not take the charity status of this closing down pregnancy centre and just change names, change board members, and away we go. We had the office, and we had myself and the other lady willing to start doing voluntary work. And so that's how it started. And we had a board of Christian people already available and ready. and willing to go. And it only took us a matter of, I think, maybe 6 weeks, the changeover. We just, said to the ACNC that it's just a change of name, a change of board members, and that was fine. And away we went. So during COVID, it was a bit slow, but now that we're coming out of COVID, beginning of this year, it's really taken off. We're really getting the phone calls, 99.9% pre-abortion calls.
Wow.
Women ringing up asking for help. At the moment, we're supporting 6 mums.
Yep.
And I've been going around speaking at churches, talking about abortion, talking about Hope House, and some people, God has touched their hearts and they're putting their hand up to volunteer. And at the moment, I'm trying to, offload a bit of my work onto these volunteers to teach them and train them. And I did some training in this work with Pregnancy Help Sydney, which is a Catholic organisation. They just do mainly telephone support work. So the training I got from them was invaluable for this work, how to talk to women about initially about pregnancy issues and pre-abortion, post-abortion. But being a born-again Christian, I can speak the gospel into the lives of these women when the opportunity comes up. And I always pray for that opportunity. I can offer them a Bible. I can offer them a word of prayer.
Yeah. And that's I think, that is the amazing thing. It is an opportunity to preach the gospel to women who are in very difficult circumstances, right?
And they are very receptive, in that situation. And as you get to know some of these women, because I always pray that God would lead the women to us that He wants us to minister to.
Yeah.
And as you get to know these young mums, you find out that maybe they've got a Christian aunt or a Christian grandmother somewhere down the line, and they know exactly what you're on about, who you are, what a born-again Christian is.
Yeah.
It's really amazing. And if you offer them the Bible, they take it. They take it, and next time I might say to them in our conversation, like, are you reading the Bible, or have you looked at it? And they'll say, yeah, I turn to that page where it says we're to look for help, when I'm feeling lonely or afraid. I've been reading those sections. Great, better than nothing.
That's it. Keep going. Keep
going.
doing that.
I always say, just go to the New Testament, Gospel of John, Gospel of Mark, start there. Also, just give them a bit of encouragement. So it's really an honour to see how the ladies, the young mums that God is bringing to us, and how we can help them and talk to them. Yeah.
So, okay.
I think the first work of God that I want to point out, and that we sort of touched on before the podcast, was the fact that you could take over an organization that sort of wasn't doing well, but for their own reasons had to sort of pack up shop and move out.
Yeah.
Instead of doing that long, lengthy process of trying to start your own,
all the government paperwork,
that's
applying for ABN numbers,
and having to probably pay a solicitor and accountant to get involved and help you do all that.
Exactly.
You could just take over an existing one.
Yep.
Went from 6 months to 6 weeks.
Yeah,
so
that's
that
right.
in itself just
It's
shows the hand of God from the beginning.
Being
exactly. Involved.
And just how that portable building came into existence on a piece of land and was converted into an office, and rent free. We don't pay any rent. So, and I have been amazed at the donations of Christian people in Australia donating to this ministry. It's been just amazing. we have had no. I don't even have to ask for money, but the money is coming in, and we had a request from some organisation from Canberra. Some women wanted to set up something to help women in pregnancy crisis also, and they contacted us and said our biggest concern is money. We don't have money where to start. How did you guys raise your money?
God.
And we just said, well, Christians are just donating to this work. We haven't done any fundraising, nothing, and we never heard from them again.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So take one step back.
Yeah.
Like, why did you want to get involved in this ministry? What was it that was a turning point for you, Nadia?
Yeah, well, it was I can see God's hand here. How he prepared me for this. I think it was Right to Life. They were holding a seminar on abortion, but the Christian Democratic Party back then, they were hosting the Right to Life to do this talk on abortion, and we just saw this brochure about it, and my husband kept saying to me, "Yeah, we should go to this talk and have a listen." And I'm thinking, abortion? Oh, why do you want to go to that for? You know. But anyway, we ended up going, and when the stuff I heard there, I couldn't believe it. I thought, wow, this is just amazing, like what is happening, and we don't know about it, and Christians aren't talking about it. They're doing nothing.
Yeah, I think that's like just we'll pause. Right, don't forget where you are, but like I feel like in Australia in particular that the Christian church, I don't want to be broad set, but like we're not really vocal about this one. It seems very one-sided. Like the whole entire Australian culture, including the church, is very silent. We're just not saying, even though I think that there may be people, your everyday Aussie bloke would disagree potentially with abortion, maybe even to a certain degree.
I've got
abortion.
many unsaved friends that are anti-abortion.
Yeah.
And yet it seems like it's all going one way, and the church is silent. It's silent.
It's silent, and that's you're correct. And we need to start speaking about it. We need to start in the churches. Start waking up the Christians
in the pulpits. It needs to start happening in the pulpits.
We need to start praying against abortion. Lobbying politicians how we can. We need to do more life marches. We need to go out and protest, or hold banners up, pro-life banners somewhere, and get people talking and looking and listening.
But I think the gospel needs to be like pushed into this area. Like one of the main, I guess, overarching themes of this podcast is that Jesus Christ is Lord over everything. And so we want to bring his lordship and the gospel into everything, and the gospel needs to be at the forefront of this attack.
Absolutely.
If the church is going to do anything, all those things are great. We need a march. We need to do all these different things. We need to lobby. We need to vote. We need to pray. But we need to preach the gospel in the pulpits. We need to preach the gospel at the wherever we can to the people at those point in time. Now, before we get distracted, Nadia, do you want to continue on with how you came to what brought about this this desire to do this ministry? So you went to that Right to Life.
Yeah, and got information.
You got information,
all about abortion, and that, I guess, that just put that spark in my heart to keep going, about this subject and topic. And I was always looking for opportunities to work in do something for pro-life, especially against abortion. But I didn't find anything. I couldn't. No matter where I turned, I couldn't find anything that any Christians in Australia that were working specifically in that area.
You're talking like evangelical,
yes.
like
we would consider Bible believing,
Bible-believing Christians.
Yeah.
There wasn't anything like that.
No, I couldn't find anything. I think there is one Christian pregnancy centre, but it's at Borkham Hills Way.
Okay.
Oh,
They were, some. So that was a bit far because I live in the southwest of Sydney. But anyway, I didn't go there, but it was not long after that I was pointed in the direction of another lady who was working in that pregnancy centre in the city, and I started talking to her, and then that's how we got Hope House going.
I'm encouraged by hearing, like, so you and your husband, you went to this seminar.
Yeah.
You were confronted probably by some very harsh truths.
Yeah.
And God used that, had an effect, and gave you a work to do. And I'm not saying every Christian's like this, but I'm going to hit close to home on myself, and something that I struggle with is I'm the type of person where I struggle hearing bad news. I don't like it. I don't like putting my head in the sand. I like knowing what's going on. I like knowing how to engage with the world. I like knowing the arguments that the pro-abortion side tries to make against the pro-life side, and or pro-choice against pro-life, and that conversation there. But my struggle is when I get down into nitty-gritty details. So details about how abortions are actually done.
Yes.
Things like that. I sort of, and I'm not saying this is good, and I think Christians should learn what I'm saying and do the opposite of what I'm saying, because I need to do the opposite. And I don't want to hear it, to be honest. Like, I'm like, no, that's too much information. I know enough. I know abortion's bad. Let me help in that way. But I think, and this is a conversation that me and you were having earlier today, George, is I actually need to know how they're doing it. I need to know more. I need to know how women are suffering. I need to know how these unborn children are suffering. Because if you don't know that, if you don't know what's going on, to an aspect, to a point, you will bury your head in the sand.
Yeah.
And I feel like, sadly, that's what I was doing. I was burying my head in, because I couldn't deal with these harsh truths, these harsh realities.
Yeah. Well, I was like that too. I didn't. I remember previously, before reading articles by Melody Green, she used to write about abortion and put graphic pictures, on her articles. And I just remember reading them and thinking, that's just so terrible, just so terrible. And I thought, oh, only non-Christians do that, But you'd be surprised how many Christian women have abortions too, you know.
Well, just studying the topic, and I was talking to Leah. I went on to on a website. It was called Children by Choice, which is a pro-abortion, or they're happy to help you, have a pregnancy and go through with it full term, but they're also pro-abortion, and they stated that 1 in 3 women in Australia have had an abortion.
Yeah, very high.
You think about that.
Yeah.
You see more than 3 women a day on the street.
There's 4 women in our family.
Yeah. And so, like, more than likely, during the day, you will bump into somebody who's had an abortion.
Yes, definitely. And there'd be women sitting in your churches who have had abortions also.
Yeah.
That's another reason why we need to get involved in this ministry, because for post-abortion women, the gospel is I believe, the only answer, the only hope that they have to be delivered from their trauma, their suffering, to experience God's forgiveness, God's healing in their life. I have read that. I read a book about women telling their stories who've had abortion, and it's such sad stories. I couldn't finish the book because the stories were so sad. But the women who had a faith, they were the only ones that sort of managed their life peacefully after an abortion, because they had faith in God. They had repented. They had faith in God.
Peace with God, reconciled. Their sins were dealt with. Yeah.
And they believed also they would see their child in heaven.
Yeah.
So that gave them
hope. It gave them incredible hope.
And peace to go on living.
Yeah.
So that's another reason why we need to be involved in this, to be telling these women that the gospel can set you free from all the trauma and the bondage that abortion has done to you. Look, abortion is just like any other sin, you know. It's not this big sin, but it is sin, and it can be forgiven just like any other sin.
Yeah.
And the best way to make a person pro-life is for them to believe the gospel, to become a Christian.
Yeah.
And they'll become pro-life. Yeah.
And I think that's what as Christians, that's our understanding. If Jesus Christ is not Lord, then why be against abortion? So if you're an unbeliever and you believe that we're just particles that have formed and come together over millions of years, and after life there is no death, there is no
good,
purpose,
there is no evil,
there's no hope,
no hope.
nothing. What to them, in their minds, what's the point? So we can convince a whole bunch of unsaved, non-believers to not get an abortion, but at the end of the day, that's not going to do much for them. They need Christ. They need Jesus.
Yeah.
And before I jump, you were going to say something?
No, go.
Because I'm going to jump topic. So
No, go right ahead.
okay. So I was just going to ask, so we spoke about, the trauma that these women sadly go after they have abortions, which would, in my mind, be much worse than the post-abortion. You're dealing with pre-abortion. You're dealing with a lot of women, 6 as you mentioned, that haven't had an abortion yet, and they've come to you for help.
Yep.
What sort of trauma are they going through? Like, without getting too personal and no naming names, but a lot of, like, are they being pressured? Like, how are you helping these women with their emotional struggles and things like that?
Yeah, well, I'll give you some examples. One young man rang in and saying that his girlfriend was 20 weeks pregnant and they wanted an abortion. And I said to him, how old are you? 21, 22. He was just an apprentice. She was a student, international student, no Medicare, no health insurance. I talked with him and I told him that, Hope House, that's why we exist. We're here to help you, to support you. We will help you whichever way we can. And that 20 weeks, I said, you would have had an ultrasound already. He goes, yeah, I saw the baby's head, he said. I go, okay. And I said, so that's a life in there. It's already 20 weeks. Do you realise that? Oh, yeah, I do. Sort of mentioned that it's all right, like, to terminate them while they're inside, but once they're outside, then,
Based on location.
Yeah. You can kill someone based on location.
Yeah, location, exactly, yeah. But anyway, I had a good chat with him. I was just talking to him, asking him about his family, his life, his girlfriend, and just continually offering help, saying we will, look, we'll support you, we'll walk with you. What about your family? I always ask him about their families. We haven't told our families. I always encourage them, talk to your families, tell your parents. I'm sure they'll come around to supporting you. They might be upset or shocked at first, but I'm sure they'll come around to supporting you, especially if you tell them you want to keep the baby.
Yeah.
So I had a good chat with him, and he said to me, yeah, I'll ring you back if we decide to keep the baby. I said, yeah, please do. I never heard from him. 10 weeks passed, I didn't hear from him. I thought, surely, don't tell me. I'm thinking to myself, did they really go through with terminating their baby? But anyway, 10 weeks later, his girlfriend rang Hope House line, and she said, I'm 30 weeks pregnant now, and we need your help. I said, oh, wow. I said, that's so great that you have kept your baby, and And what happened then, we meet up with her. We met up with her face to face. Okay, how can we help you? And now she's 36 weeks pregnant.
Wow.
We've been paying for her antenatal fees at the hospital. Her ultrasound fees, we've been paying for them. We've given her a lot of baby stuff. We've bought a lot of, I went to Baby Buntings with her the other day, bought $600 worth of stuff for her, baby items. I have this baby checklist which I give to the mums. I go, in preparation for your baby, go through this checklist, and what you can't afford to buy, Hope House will buy it for you. And
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Praise God.
And bought her some maternity clothes. I pick her up.
She was an international student, you're
yes,
saying?
she was an
So
international
no Medicare?
student. No Medicare, no.
So everything's cash up front for the hospital
yes,
and all
yes,
that.
and they won't see you unless you pay up front.
Wow.
And they were like hassling her for to pay for her birth and confinement. And we came to an agreement with the hospital on a fee. But we've got another supporter who is really helping her with her visa and applying, how to apply for Medicare.
Yep.
So we've been hoping and praying that, she'll get pending Medicare, even a letter maybe before she gives birth, which is in about another only 4 weeks.
Yeah, it's not far.
Not far.
Off.
Yeah. But if she doesn't get the Medicare, then Hope House, we will pay the hospital fee because we don't want, we were advised, even though somebody said to us, you can pay off the amount, but we were advised that maybe that if there's a debt on her name, then she might not, the government might not look kindly on her visa status and not give her the visa that she's applying for.
Yeah.
We want her to stay with her partner and their baby.
So he's still
he's an Australian
involved.
citizen. Yes.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and he's they're living in his bedroom in his parents' house. I met his parents, and they're very, very nice people and supportive of their son and his girlfriend.
That's awesome.
So things are going well there. That's a good news story. One baby that I know was saved from abortion. We get many calls like that, and they don't they don't ring back to tell me
what they
decision, what they've decided. Sometimes at the end of the call, I sort of get an idea. I think,
yes,
they've sort of turned around and thinking maybe they will keep the baby. Some of them are still definitely not, going to go ahead with the abortion, and some of them are indecisive. And by the time you finish talking with them, they're not sure of what to do. And then you get the girls who ring up who want to keep their baby, but because of their circumstances, their boyfriend might have left them when they found out she's pregnant, or that's a very common scenario.
Yeah.
When she gets pregnant, the boyfriend or the partner says, I'm done, I'm gone, I don't want to be around, I don't want to support you in this situation, and she's left alone. And that's very hard for her. But deep down they want their baby. They want to keep their baby because the boyfriend's left. And sometimes they just need that help and encouragement to say, you can do it. We're here with you. You walk the 9 months, and we'll be there with you right along and beyond, and we'll give you all the what help and support you need. We'll give it to you. We'll be there by your side.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And
Even just sometimes saying, I believe in you, not in a secular sense. Not in a secular sense. Hear me out before you shake your head at me,
I'm
George.
judging you.
But just to say, from the biblical sense, understanding the relationship of a mother and a child, to help them, comfort them, saying, you can have a good relationship with your child. You can have a good life with your child, especially through the gospel of Christ.
Yeah.
To say that, and as Christians mean it when you share the gospel, not just some airy fairy, hocus
Distant,
pocus,
cold,
but a
Exactly.
genuine you know,
Yeah.
Christ as your Lord and Savior, you can have a great family relationship with your child. Even sadly, even if the father's out of the picture, God's the father to the fatherless. To say that with truth and meaningfulness, I think that will have a strong effect on a lot of ladies' lives.
Definitely. But just that story, I reckon a lot of abortions will be, I guess, would be wiped out if men took responsibility for their actions.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Men out
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
man up. All right,
Yeah.
you get it pregnant, suck it up.
Yeah.
You made the decision. All right, to use it was a joint decision to sleep with your girlfriend
Yeah.
and she conceived. Now she has a baby. All right.
And let's be honest, 90% of the time, it's because of men that they
Yeah, well, that's right.
they did that
yeah,
act.
I agree with you totally. And so you've gone and made the decision. Now stick to your guns, be a man, and take care of your child, take care of the girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a good news story regarding that.
Okay, here we go.
About a girl who rang up in that situation.
All right.
The boyfriend was going to leave her because she got pregnant, and she said to me that they had both decided they were going to have a baby. And then when she actually got pregnant, he got cold feet and wanted to run,
The runner.
Yeah,
Wow.
and she was so upset. And like in those situations, she's thinking, deciding, what am I going to do? I really want the baby, but I really don't want to be a single mum. And, these thoughts are going through her mind. And I encouraged her and said to her, look, your family's supporting you. We're supporting you. You can do it. You'll be okay. Along there in the conversation, if sometimes I might say, like, do you believe in God? Yes or no, but most of the time it's yes. I do believe in God. Okay, well, God can help you too. Just reach out to God. Do you have a Bible? No, I don't have a Bible. Okay, I'll get you a Bible.
Yeah.
Just little things like that. But with this particular case, I asked her about her boyfriend, and he sounded like a hardworking young man. I sort of came across as a decent guy, and I said to her, would you like me to ring him and talk to him? And she goes, I would love you to do that. I said, if he doesn't mind. So she gave me his number, and I rang him the next day, and I said to him,
Nadia's going to hunt you down, man.
She really needs you now. And he was crying. He goes, oh. He said, oh, I'm a good person, I go, yeah. I go, well, she needs you now,
Yeah.
Go and tell her you'll support her, and is your family supportive? Yes, my family's supportive. I said, what's your problem? I said, just, and that's what he did. And now they're back together, and she's having the baby. They're living with his family, and she's very happy. But other callers, like, they might have gone through drug addiction or had previous abortions because of drug addiction, or they were leading a wild life, and people around them telling them, you're not a fit mother, you get rid of this child. And they've had abortions. They get pregnant, she gets pregnant again. She rings up Hope House thinking that, again, she'll be told, no, have an abortion. I've got mental health issues. But I'm pregnant. I don't know. You can do it. It's fine. It's fine. Just because you've been through all of this and all of that, you're getting the right help now for your mental health issues. And how's your family? Are they supporting you? Yeah. My mum is supporting me. Great. We're supporting you. And that's all she needs to hear.
Yeah.
That she can have this baby.
Yeah.
Despite other people telling her previously that she can't have these babies because she's this and she's that. And that's all she needs to hear, that, yep, I can do it, and we're meeting up with this mum soon and going to offer her how we can
How you can
support
help.
her and
That's
help
awesome.
her, you know. Another mum, you know, all she needs is living on her own. All she needs is companionship
Mm.
and someone to talk to.
Yeah.
And we just met up with her and you know, talk with her and encourage her and take her for her appointments, and it gives her hope and a reason to, and her baby also gives her a reason to keep living and going on.
Yeah.
But also to have that, just she said, oh, I don't know what I'd do without you, you know. Yeah, I was able to give a New Testament
That's
to this
awesome.
mum also, and told her to read that section, where to look for when you're,
Yeah.
you know, yeah. So, yeah, I pray for these mums. And
Yeah.
pray for them and just pray that God does His work in their lives in His time.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, just from some personal experience of having family members, you know, encouraging you to have an abortion.
Yes, yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think people realize how impactful that is.
Mm.
yeah,
Like, really, how it impacts somebody's life. Somebody that their whole life they've looked up to them. Their
Yeah.
whole life, that person has taken care of them. And then for that person to turn around and say, this
yeah,
child's going to make your life
Yeah.
hard, have an abortion,
yeah.
just
But they think
shakes
they're
you.
helping their family
Oh,
members.
yeah.
So they really think they're helping them.
I understand that,
Yeah.
and from my position as well, when I was being encouraged to do that by family members, I think in their minds they thought that they were helping,
Yeah.
but they're really not.
No.
Yeah.
They're really
And,
not.
Yeah, and now the studies are coming out that women who've had abortions are committing suicide
Yeah.
Mm.
more than women who kept their babies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really, and another study, 81% increase of mental health problems
After an
after
abortion.
an abortion.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
a research done by published. It says in 1995 to 2009 by Priscilla Coleman.
Mm.
European Journal of Public Health, Volume 15, talks about a Finnish study on women, which showed that women who've had abortions are at highest risk of suicide
Wow.
than women who kept their babies or who lost a baby by like stillbirth or like a natural
Miscarriage.
miscarriage.
Yeah.
Because deep down, you know, women know that it's a baby in there. I think deep down, and then they really suffer, and that's not spoken about. They're not told that.
No,
This is just a healthcare issue.
Yeah.
And that's
It's clinical. It's very.
yeah.
But this is God's world,
yeah.
and you don't live in God's world, all right, and pretend that you know there is no God, and then you can think you can do whatever you want, and there's no ramifications, there's no
Yeah.
consequences. No, that's not
Yeah.
how it works. Like
No.
there is a God, there is right, there is wrong, there is a standard. He's given us His law, and so when we break His commands, it impacts our lives. It's going to happen.
And
you go.
women who are indecisive, who really not 100% sure to have an abortion, and they go ahead and have one, I think they suffer even more.
Yeah.
Because they weren't 100%
They weren't
sure.
committed to
they
the-
weren't,
yeah.
like I had a call like that
Yeah.
recently. You know, had some children, got pregnant again, partner left her, family are pressuring her to have an abortion, and you know, I talked to her. I said, "Can I send you some information about abortion?" She said, "No, because if I read them, I know I won't go through with it." And she didn't want to talk anymore. She hung up.
'Cause she's going against her conscience.
Yeah, she is,
Yeah.
and if she does go ahead, I think she will really suffer
Yeah.
afterwards, and that's
So just
really sad.
I really would like to talk about, Nadia, so you know, Christians are listening to this and they want to get involved or they want to do things. Like what can the everyday Christian do? What can we do to get involved? Like you're part of the industry, you know, you've given much of your time to this. But if you were to encourage someone, to do something, what are some things that we can do?
Yeah, I think the first thing we need to do is pray.
Yeah.
Pray against abortion. Pray against Australia has one of the extreme abortion laws in the world. Abortion up till birth. Some European countries only have abortion legally up to like 14 weeks or something like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember those European countries. But Australia recently legalised 2019 abortion up till birth. And
is that in the state of New South Wales or
all over Australia?
All over Australia.
Yeah. And I think the conversation is to start with maybe late-term abortions because people, you know,
iffy about that.
yeah, they're more against that.
Let's
Start talking about late-term abortions. And I was recently speaking to a Catholic obstetrician, and he said what they do is they inject the injection of potassium into the baby's heart. That kills the baby in utero if it's a late-term abortion, and then they deliver a dead baby. But he said that, but the mothers who say, I don't want that injection to go into my baby's heart, if the baby survives the birth process and is born alive, then the mothers choose to hold that baby until it dies. And he said that normally happens if the baby's, you know, like got disabled, the doctors are saying, oh, your child has got this, that and that, and you got to get rid of it. And those mums who choose to abort their babies because of these diagnoses that the doctor tells them, yeah, they'll just hold their baby until the baby dies. So let's begin the conversation with late-term abortions, you know, killing a baby just because it's got Down syndrome, things like that. You know, that might touch people's hearts more than they say, 6 weeks, that's just, you know, they might
They
say
call that a chemical abortion or something like that. I think they got a different name for it.
They're rising, chemical abortions. You can even get the pills sent to you by mail.
Wow.
In the mail, you know, telehealth, you can just ring up and they'll do everything over the telephone for you. So let's start the conversation with late-term abortion. Let's start speaking about that. Let's start praying against abortion. Let's start speaking about abortion in our churches. Our leaders praying against abortion in our services, speaking against it. And let's start... life marches. We don't do enough of them in Australia.
I think there's one coming up on the 26th of September.
And it was organised by the Catholics.
Organised by the Catholics.
Listen,
Catholics, we don't hate you. We like you, all right?
Yeah, we like them, yeah.
But get saved. Repent and believe.
They outdo us in this area.
They do. You know, and we have to, you know, curb belligerence in this fight, I guess. But there is a march, I think on the 26th of September. Is that correct?
It's on
in
a
Sydney,
Sunday.
New South Wales.
Yes.
If anyone's
You know what,
wondering.
Catholics? Why do it on the Lord's Day? Do it on a Saturday.
That's a solid question.
But anyway, anyway, I'm nitpicking now.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Moving on. So, yeah, what else? What else can people do?
Can people do? Okay, I think we've missed the chance of protesting directly outside abortion clinics. Now the law has come in where it's 150-metre rule.
Yep.
You have to be 150 metres away from an abortion clinic. Why can't we stand 150 metres away somewhere
Yep.
and have some pro-life posters, talk to people, you know, about abortion, offer them pamphlets on Hope House too, and have gospel tracts, you know, have a chance to talk to people about the gospel maybe too, you know. Why can't we do that? We are so ashamed or so frightened to do this. Why can't we start more Christian pregnancy help centres?
Yeah. Evangelical, biblical,
yes, evangelical,
gospel-centered pregnancy help centers.
And when I talk to these girls that ring and tell them, you know, that we can help them, they go, oh, I didn't know this sort of thing existed. How did I ever find you? You know, a lot of them just say they Google they Google and find us. Yeah, I think if there's opportunities, like churches should be starting up centres like that and forming a management committee to oversee a pregnancy help centre.
Yeah.
I'm sure there'd be all you need to start off with one or two Christian women who are willing to take phone calls, get the training, of course, how to talk to pre-abortion, post-abortion callers, talk to the callers that ring in, and go from there. What does a caller say? What are they saying? How can you help them? Go out and do it. Meet up with them. How can we help you? You need to be driven around. You're a new Australian. You don't have a driver's license. You got no one to support you, to go with you. Okay, I'll do it. And they are so thankful and grateful and happy for that help.
Yeah. So what we need to do is we need to die to ourselves and be willing to sacrifice time, energy, money.
Definitely.
And to help these women to preach the gospel to them.
So a bit closer to home, if people wanted to actually get involved in Hope House, because like you said, majority of these clinics that are trying to help women that want to get an abortion and things like that, majority of them are Catholic. So a lot of Bible-believing Christians, for whatever reason, they don't want to hold hands with Catholics and get involved in stopping abortions. But praise God, there's a Bible-believing Christian one called Hope House. How do they jump in and get involved in Hope House? Is there something they can do, volunteer time, effort, energy, and get involved in that way if they don't have the time to start their own?
Yep, they can contact us and get an application form. They can become a volunteer.
Yep.
And they fill out an application form. If we like what we read on your application form, you'll have a short interview with one of the committee members, one or two, and you're in. Even if you don't have much time to do the practical work, but you're there to show that you're interested in this work. You're supported, and who knows, there might be a job for you somewhere to do something.
Definitely.
It's just that, we were thinking and talking about starting like a membership, like people who are interested in this ministry to become like a member and have like a yearly meeting talking about pro-life issues and talking about what Hope House is doing, how we're going, and just to be there to show, I support this work and from that, who knows, older people step down, younger people step up.
Yep.
Maybe another pregnancy centre might get started.
Who knows what the Lord can do?
We've got one volunteer older lady who's just been accepted as a volunteer. She said her husband is a handyman. He's retired. He is willing to help. And I'm thinking, great, we need somebody to pick up furniture and deliver furniture to our clients, We're always in need of something like that. Somebody who has the time to drive to the other side of Sydney maybe and pick up a lounge or a dining table that somebody's given away that one of our clients needs. And these girls, a lot of them, we have one girl, we're looking for furniture for her at the moment. She needs a lounge and in her tiny little place where she's renting, she needs a double bunk bed. So we first of all ask our supporters if maybe somebody's got something like that in good condition that they're willing to give before we might go and buy them something,
donations.
Yeah, donations.
Like that.
And so we need people who are willing to pick up these items and drop them off to the clients. Dropping off maybe food hampers to these girls. Sometimes they ask for food hampers. Yeah.
So there's plenty of work to do. We'll put a description and a link a link in the description below for Hope House. So if anyone wants to contact Nadia, you can find there's a number on there, I'm sure, and they can call you up and
sure.
seek about whether they want to volunteer or donate or give money, time, energy, and whatnot. So yeah,
and we don't get a lot of comments on our videos, so leave a comment and we'll get back to you because there's not many around.
What do you mean?
Well, not many comments. So if they leave a comment, I've got time to read a comment. You know what I mean, and respond if there's questions. But look, on that note, thank you for listening. May the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. God bless.